everybody. Well. We got some news that affects mostly Europe, but it does have, of course, ramifications for travelers. Volcano Etna, Mount Etna in Sicily has went into a major eruption yesterday. So there is obviously a lot of concern around Sicily because of the eruption is quite massive. I don't have all the details of just how massive it is compared to a normal Mountain Etna eruption, but it's pretty bad. So there is a no-fly zone around the volcano at this point. That shouldn't affect Tiger Kitty or anything because she's in the United Kingdom, but just be aware if you're traveling to Europe that Mount Etna is putting a lot of ash and stuff into the air, so they might be taking a large detour around the volcano for that reason. The last night's show went pretty well. I didn't have any problem with last night's show. I thought it went pretty good. Definitely a lot of very on the report observations.
Oh yeah!
You got a chance to hear me, Laughters, and M60 talking about what we saw, what was going on in the tech world, especially regarding the Office Communications ID thing that turned out to be a disaster in the UK, and similar laws are turning out to be a disaster in the USA. Despite the fact that everybody wants so bad that everybody have to hand over IDs, it's not going to work out that way for anybody because the internet will continue to be open and free. Come on, let's be honest. Spot. Who is going to be the government body in the United States that is going to maintain the internet? I mean, second of all, even if you have what they call real ID, which I do have, who is going to be monitoring to make sure what ID you're using? And it's Utah tried to ban a VPN, but realized that they couldn't because there would be a violation of the different things from the freedom of speech to protection from unlawful search and seizure. We don't realize that one. Rusty shared, by the way. How would that gonna work? I have no idea. I got up a little late today. I actually still made it in here time, but I was thinking of. Well, I've been watching a lot of weird videos on YouTube. One of them has been on bowling machines, bowling in general, and how the different bowling machines work, from full size 10-pin, candle pin, duck pin, and now I found out there's something called 5-pin, which is a Canadian game. And one of the things I wondered is, for those of you who don't know anything at all about duck pin, the manufacturer who made the duck pin machine was offered a good deal originally by AMF to have them make machines for them. Okay, because there was AMF wanted to buy the rights to Sherman's pin setter. And Sherman told him, nope. Well, that's great when you're alive, bro, but when you get old and you pass away, by that time the company closed in the end, about 1973, there was no longer any parts for Sherman pin setters. So what a lot of the duck pin lanes were doing was scavenging machines from dumping alleys that closed. New alleys really didn't have access to the parts, so a lot of dumping alleys kind of closed before they even opened. However, there's a new technology being used in the big bowling alleys. When I say big, I'm meaning that the major ones being run by EMF and Brunswick are called string pin setters. And I saw that someone had done something similar with duck pins and with candle pins. I'm saying to myself, why not? The Sherman free-falling pins are great. I've done duck pin. The thing is that they have one notorious problem. There's a lot of parts in those machines that, because of age, they start to fail, and they become very expensive to maintain. The Sherman and the E2s and the Brunswicks and the EMF free-fall pins. So they said there's no reason why they couldn't set up so you can use the string pin setters. Although some hate them, I can say, look, we've had to make a lot of changes over the years in technology and sports, so either go with the flow or go nowhere. That's what I'll just say. I'm not saying I like the idea of having pins attached with strings, but given how that they work and the less work involved in keeping them up, I'd say go for it. Yes, I know that. AMF bought Harley Davidson. And AMF was originally also working with the Cox larger cars, model cars, slot car tracks, and their bowling lanes. Ed told me that story. Very interesting how AMF was at one time was a very large, multifaceted corporation. So, like I said, when the owner of the Sherman pin setter was approached by AMF and they said, no, I don't want to sell to you, I'm surprised that AMF didn't go, well, we'll make our own pin setter. I mean, your pins are only just a little bit smaller than our standard pins, but they didn't do that. Well, unfortunately, the Sherman pin setters are all getting old and cranky. And the ones in Laurel Lane are the Shermans. So I wonder what's going to happen with the technology. I mean, pin setters attached to strings may sound stupid, but hey, look, this is 21st century. Times change. Get used to it. But if I really wanted to have fun, I could just say basically making a miniature bowling alley here on the porch. Although I'll be honest, it'd be very noisy. Bowling on the porch. Again, some pretty mean hooks because almost all wooden porches have a slight pitch to them. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting history, how history sometimes gets screwed up because of stupidity and people that said no and they should have said yes. So, panel's open, guys. If you want to come on up, in the Discord, in the live channel. Now, I was showing the group of science and tech. I don't know why it ended up there, but we've been talking about some real estate, and there's one piece of land in Kentucky. It's like $40,000 for 4.4 acres. A couple of advantages and some big disadvantages. Okay, so let's talk about the advantages first. The land itself is mostly cleared, so you can set up your little tiny houses or mobile homes on it. All right. It has access to natural gas. Well, the way it was written, it sounds like you may have access to natural gas. And you have access to county water. Well, that's good. What about county sewer? After all, you gotta, if you have water and sewer, that saves us trouble. But if you don't have, so I don't know if I didn't even check to see if it had any utility poles for electricity. Probably does. Well, I don't know what Nerf bowling pins, although when I was a kid, we had plastic toy pins that were fairly light with a little cheap plastic ball in it. They were multicolored. So yeah, for playing bowling on the porch, I guess that would work fine. The ball is about the size of a duck pin ball. Maybe a little bit bigger than a duck pin, but not by much. But I was just thinking about that. That's one of those separate things. But hell, why not? Let's see, you built the community you wanted to build. You wanted a rec room. You wanted to have a bowling alley. You can make a bowling alley with a pin person to do the pins, right? Or take turns setting pins up. Old time school bowling. You could do 10 pin, candle pin, duck pin. It's just a matter of making sure you use the right ball to go down the ball return. So candle pin, duck pin uses the same ball. At least that wouldn't be so hard to make a ball return for that. Pretty cool. No, it's not an HOA. And trust me, it's not a city. It's a rural community. It's a rural piece of land, Chris. But they're saying access to natural gas may be available on site. County water. I don't know about septic though. And here's the thing that's the kicker: 5% down, or $2,000 at about 400. I'm not going by my head. Let's just say $500 a month. Right, you have to pay taxes for the property owner financing. That's just not bad. Think about it. You want to have a small community, 4.4 acres, zoned for residential, multi-residential, farmstead, horses, livestock, perfect. I'm not fighting with noodles. We have kind of a ceasefire in effect. He wants to negotiate with Tiger Kitty when she gets back. That's all I can tell you right now. Okay? So there's a ceasefire in effect, but there's no There's no negotiations yet at the table. Yeah, if we're talking about being off grid or semi off grid, then ideally getting on the city water sounds like, or county water sounds like it's going to county suck. You're going to be constantly sucking off the teat of the county water system. No. Although I can see where it could be an advantage. The problem is I don't know what the what the aquifer water for a well is like. If the water's good or crappy or what, you know. And yeah, we'll see. You know, hello, David. How you doing? You know what, Chris? That might be a good point. But if the county is supplying water for irrigation, then are they also providing it for drinking? I know what you're going to say, but Michelle, that means that the water may not have the same level of filtration, and that might be true. So that's an interesting point of order. So if you did get so-called county water, you're still going to have to deal with the fact you need to filter it to make it safe for human drinking. So interesting to see what happened, how that would work. I got some milk yesterday, by the way. So thanks. I think it was who was to donate the $10 for milk. I bought some milk yesterday because we were out of fresh milk. We had powdered milk, which is okay. Fresh milk is still a lot better in my coffee. And I also bought some more tobacco too because I was running low on that. Yeah, yeah. 7 to 9,000. Probably me. I'll probably just go ahead and just drill a well. You know, depending how deep it has to be. Maybe if it's not too crazy deep, maybe we could just, you know, get a centrifugal pump. It's just different than a jet pump in the sense that it doesn't sit in the well itself. It sits um in its own separately from the centrifugal part that sucks the water up in the well. Okay. Oh, that makes sense, Grace. Okay. So I don't want you to say definitely not fit for human consumption as it is now. Definitely not. No. But I mean, if you want to go through all that nagaha, you can go ahead and start a water filtration system. But I probably just would say just drill a well because you're gonna need a septic anyway, right? You know, depending on the county, you're gonna say, well, wait, you want composting toilets? What about gray water? What are you gonna do with the gray water? You know, like from sinks and from showers, and that's gotta go somewhere. Yeah, I 4.4 acres is a pretty friggin' good piece of land. I'll tell you that. $2,000 down payment and then about $500 a month. Okay, let's figure that out. 12 months, that's $6,000 a year plus taxes. So $6,000 a year, and you already paid down $2,000. So for the first year, that's $8,000, right? So then about 5 years, the other 30,000, or actually 3,200, would be paid off. 32,000, yeah, 32,000 would be paid off. Right. Well, that would make sense. Yeah. Also depends on the rain and the land anyway. So about 6 years, you could get the land 40,000, and then once you pay off the 40,000, you get the clean title and the clean land deed, and then you can go ahead and make sure you take this up with the zoning and the county regulations first. That they're not going to give you a headache about putting it, because it does say it's zoned for multi-residential, so perfect. So put a couple trailers on there, and then just install your well pump. But I have no idea where this place is relation to other things like Uber. I mean, like Instacart or Amazon. I need to check that. $4.4 acres for 4 mobile homes is not necessarily tiny. I mean, it's small, yes. But you're only talking about a small community of mobile homes or tiny houses sitting on it, not, huge numbers of people. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. We were looking into that. We decided to look it up in Kentucky because I already was looking in Kentucky initially. Even M60 thought that price wasn't bad for a parcel. I don't think it's bad at all. But for Connecticut, for New England, even New Hampshire, forget about it. There ain't no way I can afford to move to New Hampshire. I looked at how much it would cost to start the community in New Hampshire. It was so expensive. So expensive. I don't even know how anybody could afford to live anywhere in New England. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, 8 cents per gallon. That's what they do in Alaska. They have water delivered because not everybody in Alaska has a well. But some people also collect rainwater too, which can be useful. But like Chris said, you're still dealing with something that's seasonal. So if you have a dry summer, your rain barrels are dry too. You're gonna need sand filters. You're gonna need to make sure to properly treat the water with activated charcoal. Yeah, I saw that with Colorado. Colorado right now is getting burnt badly. And Hawaii can't afford it. Too expensive. Nobody's going to move to Hawaii. I can't afford to move to Hawaii. Majority of the people that wanted to do this as a project are in the East Coast. And I don't think that they're going to want to go all the way to Hawaii and then try to figure out how we're going to get the mobile the mobile homes or modular homes there. I think that would be just a lot of work. Well, it's a pretty big lot, so I don't think there's no reason why we couldn't have a large enough septic system to provide for all 4 homes. Originally, the idea was we were going to have like a central utilities building, like a meeting center, which would have the bathrooms, the showers, the kitchen, central utilities, such as the propane supply being used to provide hot water for the kitchen and refrigeration, as well as heating for a propane or oil burner fired boiler that could then be circulated to the cottages on property. Thus, every cottage could have their own municipal hot water, heat going to the cottage for the radiators, baseboards. Yeah, I know that sounds expensive, but actually, in a way, it is a little bit expensive because you got to deal with freezing pipes. You got to trench pretty down below the frost line.
Good morning, Michelle.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I want to point out something, and I'm not saying that this is what you'll run in with your property, but this is what you got to look out for when you're going into any new property. You can have electric power poles right out in front of your property, and all that power can be already taken to where you can't access it. You'd have to bring other power supply on in. So what I'm getting at is it's very important before you buy a piece of property to know what it would take to get electricity. I have a power line right out in front of my place. It cost $10,000 in 1992 to bring electricity into my place. That was 10 grand back then, and the power was just right across the street. So you may have to pay by power pole, an extra power pole. You'll have to buy transformers.
Yeah.
All the different stuff. It can get expensive.
That's what I'm saying is I think it would probably be semi off grid, meaning mains power is available if there is a pole, it should be right on the main highway. So then we would be able to get connected by the utility there, brought it down to the meter and breaker panel, and then we would just connect it to it for ourselves from the property so that the solar system would provide power most of the time, but if the batteries run flat and there's too much rain, they'll have to switch over to the mains power.
Okay, but that creates another problem if you're putting the power meter and the breaker panel out close to the road like that there, and if you want your house set back further, you know with electricity that you have voltage drop and all sorts of stuff. So then you might, depending where you set the house, you got to worry about boosting the power too, so you don't have a voltage drop. But also, I want to point out the sewer system that you was talking, the septic system. There is a requirement, if I remember right, it's like at least 100 feet that a well, if you have to put a well in, and let's say that you have the 4 acres,
Right.
so it's basically a little over 1 acre per trailer that you're putting on there. that means that, if you have 4 different septic fields, each well for water supply for each one of those has to be at least 100 feet away from your septic field. So
Right.
that really narrows down your space of what you can actually do on the property, because that takes up a lot of space for having the distance for your water and the distance from the septic, for all the different stuff.
Right. Well, right now the problem is gray water is less of a problem than black water. Black water from toilets is a problem. If we go with a composting toilet, well, it would solve some of it, not everything. But
No, 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 that doesn't solve any of it. If you have to put a septic field on in, it will be approved, whether you use it for black water, it will be approved for black water, and the restrictions still apply.
right, yeah. Well, right now it's all an academic exercise because, first of all, we don't have the $2,000 to put down on the owner finance. So, that's an interesting piece of lot, though. But I'm not sure exactly where it is in relation to the rest of the state of Kentucky. Because if it's like in the middle of the sticks and there's no one nearby, that's gonna really suck. Um, that was just an example I pulled up to show people that there is cheaper land out there, but it's not necessarily going to be the perfect place. um, hello, how you doing, Rocky? Um, let's see. This isn't an actual project. No, at this point it's not. It's academic at this point. But it shows the kind of thinking that I'm doing behind the scenes.
Well, Michelle, let me tell you my story with my property, how I came about. Well, not how I came about it, but I mean, after I bought it. This property here was completely undeveloped. There was no electricity. There was no well. There was no septic system. There was no driveway. There
Yeah,
was absolutely nothing here. And me and my wife and my daughter, we sold our house in town. We bought this place and rented a mini storage to store all of our stuff on in. And we moved out here in a tent. Literally moved out and lived for the first year. Actually, for the first 2 years, we lived in a tent until I bought a nice camp trailer to move on into. My
yeah,
money was tied up in other stuff, so I couldn't just go off. So we lived here for 2 years in a tent. Then we had a camp trailer and slowly developed the property from there as we could afford it. And you know what? It was the smartest move that I ever made, was doing that, because back then when I bought the place, I bought it for 30,000, which was a pretty good chunk of money considering all the money that I was going out on medical costs for my daughter at the time.
right.
Um, but it was the best thing, because right now my place appraises, and I know you guys have seen little bits of it. It's not much of a property, but this place, I bought it for 30,000 and it appraises for 325,000 now. So it's. I just got to tell you, Michelle, there's going to be some extreme hardships, but if you're up to the challenge, it's really worth it. But people have, in order to do it, if they have low income or something, have challenges, they got to be up to the challenges to it, because it's not easy.
No, I know it's not easy. And yeah, that's true. Like even after you buy the land and it takes you 6 years to pay off the 40,000 plus county taxes, state taxes, right? Um, depending on that gives you time to plan things, like arrange for, like, okay, so we have the spot, now we can figure out where we're gonna put down the container house or the modular home, water, sewer. If you're gonna be off grid for electric and water, then you mean to, like you said, you need to do septic and wells. So yeah, that would give you time to begin the process of getting to that level.
Well, Michelle, let me tell you, I would not go with a shipping container, because basically whatever you get, it should be something that you can work on. And I don't think you're going to be able to, like, if you want to put a window one in, you're not going to be able to do that. There's some challenges with cut through the metal. And the other thing is with shipping containers is they're not very well ventilated, so they sweat a lot inside. So you're going to have moisture problems inside. So
Oh yeah.
um, yeah, shipping containers is not a good way to go. I know it sounds like a good deal, and for certain people it is. People that work with metal that know what they're doing, but all in all, for the average person, it's really not a good choice.
Well, just like any kind of metal construction, you're also going to deal with the reality that, it's going to be a very cold thing in the wintertime, too. Because unless you insulate it, it's going to be cold inside in the winter and hot in the summer. The other thing to do, what I was going to do, was to go for is maybe a modular home or a mobile home kind of thing, or maybe even, like I said, an unfinished shed that you insulate and wire yourself, which is an option. Because obviously you have to remember, we and other people here that we're talking about doing this together don't have millions of dollars that we can throw at it. So we'd have to do it a little bit at a time.
Okay, but if you happen to deal with regulations, like a storage shed, those things are not built to code for living spaces. So there's going to have to be a lot of improvements. If you buy a storage shed, people think that they can just go on in there and cut some windows and stuff. It doesn't. It's not that easy. There's flooring. Half the stuff that you're paying for in a shed that you have to fix so it makes it livable, half that shed ends up being reframed. So buying a shed is not a good way to go either. It's actually best if you build your own shed to
Yeah.
codes that you can make it livable.
Yeah, so yeah, you can build your own shed from the beginning. Yeah, that's true. That's an option too if lumber supplies, don't get too crazy. Um, because my shed is going to be wired for British UK power of 240 at 50 hertz. If there's off grid power, so we'd be able to run European power on it, as well as have some American mains 120 volts in there as well for the studio, so that there was going to be a different building for the studio from the residential. Yeah. I Oh yeah, you can use denim to insulate. You can use old blue jeans, rock wool. Yeah, you can use things like that to insulate it. You'd have to. Or you can use the foam board that they make specifically for that. Because if you don't insulate, you're going to have a problem. Like I said, the wintertime, it's going to be freezing. How much propane or kerosene are you going to be going through every winter when they deliver you 275 gallons of kerosene or heating oil? You got to remember that. That stuff ain't cheap. If it's based somewhere price of gasoline, right now I saw gasoline at Cummings yesterday. It was like $4.18 a gallon, something like that. So, $4 a gallon for kerosene or heating oil. How many hours? Because remember, if you're not an insulated container, you're going to be wasting a lot of heat. It's going to go outside into the atmosphere. Happy Friday, everybody. I have to see what happens. I'm not afraid of it's an idea that I originally suggested and Brittany kind of thought was kind of cool, and it is, but I mean, like I said, at this point it's just an academic exercise. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Well, Michelle, have you seen those tiny wood stoves that they have? They're like only like these wood stoves that are tiny. They're only like 1 foot square, and the chimney pipe is like a 2.5 inch pipe that comes on out of them. But these little wood stoves are so small that they actually hang. They can actually bolt them to the wall and hang them, so they take up less space. You might want to consider something like that. Get a chop saw. That way, on the
I think
property, you
I've
can
seen
cut.
similar type of wood stoves being used in travel trailers.
Yeah, it's what stuff we use in travel trailers. I've seen one person that used it for their sole heat into their house. I mean, they weren't in an extreme climate,
Yeah.
but it was adequate, and they just said, collected the twigs, the branches that fell off the trees off their property, and used a chop saw to cut them to lengths, and it kept their house toasty warm.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come on up when you get a chance. Grizz is here. He can kind of help us understand some of the issues. And when that one piece of land I showed the group in the tech talk, which I could send the information, Grizz, if you want to see the land. It's actually pretty interesting.
Michelle, can I answer Moose's question that he asked? He asked what kind of a poop bucket I use,
Go ahead.
and I just went down and got myself a food grade bucket from Home Depot, and just put that in the closet and super glued a toilet seat on there, and it works great.
Right, a standard bucket, 5 gallons is really all you need. You don't need anything fancy. Just make sure to cover your poop when you're done with sawdust. Yeah, so as far as the electrics go, a standard electrical cable, going to your building, most homes are using 2 gauge for up to like 175 amps.
Now, Grizz, you're pretty tall, so do you have to put like blocks underneath the bucket for a little bit extra height, so you don't have to crouch down so far? Or is a standard bucket height pretty good for you?
You're talking about what now? About for
Oh,
Okay.
I have to. My knees do. I don't have the bucket propped on up, but my knees are kind of hit my chins though.
Yeah. Well, they say like squatting like that does, you poop a little better.
I've seen people use commode chairs, which kind of works for in-house. Like in Alaska, they're using commode chairs, and then they
Here,
just bring this
Michelle.
stuff out and put the waste products and when the weather's appropriate out in the compost heap.
Michelle, can I have you turn my camera? I'm going to turn my camera on. Is it okay if we show your viewers my poop bucket?
What?
Ooh. Yes, Michelle.
Why would you want to show that?
I mean, it'll be very educational for this project that you're working on, I think.
Oh, hold on a minute. I have to see if I can get that on here. Hold on a minute. Let's see. I don't usually set this up for showing things in video with that because I don't want to have bad people come up here and show something that's worse than a waste management system. Hold on a minute. I gotta get this on the screen here. So switch to. Okay. Well, that's not it. Google Chrome, Discord, Live Studio. Hey, why isn't it showing me the channel though? No, let's see if we can get this thing on the screen. Nope, that's not the screen. What the hell's going on? Alright, hold a minute. Discord. That's weird. Because I'm trying to get this in Google Chrome, Discord, and I got the picture, but unfortunately, it's not actually showing the chat. It's like, that's totally weird. Is the camera on? It is on, yeah. Google Chrome, Discord. Is there any other Discords running? Unfortunately, I can't seem to get the camera to work.
What a letdown.
I'm trying. I'm working on it now. Let's see. Okay, I got it now. Yay! All right, so
I guess I should go near my phone if I want to see this magnificent bucket. Oh, wow.
Okay, here. Are we ready for me to talk about it? Show what I got here?
There you go. It's not much.
Are we
We're
all
seeing you, Grizz.
Okay, here we go. I want to show you the poop bucket. Okay, now what I did with this one here is this is just basically a stovepipe plug here. That's what I use for a lid, and got to scrape that off. And it's kind of blackish down inside, but that's because I had diarrhea this morning. But this is my poop bucket, and you can make do with anything that works for you. I mean, it works great.
Okay.
But that's it. I hope that was beneficial for Moose.
How often do you rinse that out, or do you even have to bother, Grizz?
You want a bidet? Oh, there's nothing wrong with a bidet. I mean, you can get a bidet. Sure.
Oh yeah, but the bidet, Michelle, I do have a bidet for it. It just recycles the water out of the bucket and it kind of filters it. So I never change the water out.
Oh well, I was thinking is that we probably could use some of the water from our cistern to go straight into the bidet nozzle. I mean, good old gravity is good enough pressure for rinsing your ass off. You don't need 60 pounds per square inch of pressure. Yeah, you could just do that. Bidet's not a problem. Brittany, honestly, seriously, everybody's going to be putting work into the project. It's not going to be just me building it.
Michelle, can you swing a hammer?
Yes, I can.
How?
I have a problem
really?
with my knees, not problems with my arms.
Can you put in a good 8-hour workday?
I don't know. I have never worked an 8-hour.
We're gonna get you up.
I have never worked an 8-hour workday on construction sites, so I can't say. I've worked with my father on construction sites, but never for a full 8 hours. Yeah.
So what you're saying is this project might take a long time.
Yeah. I mean, after
how many other?
I mean,
are there mostly crippled people that are going to be working on the project, or?
Well, Brittany would definitely be working on it.
Yeah.
Maybe even M60, Wafters, Kel Doge. Perhaps Michele Doge might also be involved because she wants him with him.
Hey, Michelle, seriously, this is a really good suggestion for you if you plan on doing a lot of your work yourself, because you're not going to be able to do the high work, etc., because of ladders and stuff, obviously. So what I would really consider doing, the most affordable construction that you can do that you would be able to convert into living space is actually build like a 16 by 30 or a 16 by 40 pole barn. Just a dirt floor or whatever, because on the ground you would be able to frame in the floor for that, and frame in walls and, all the ground stuff. So,
right.
A pole barn actually, and it is something that you can get a permit for and everything.
Yeah, well, I'm also realizing that, like I said, is that we can get, modular homes too. I mean, if we can find a modular home that's in good shape, that they just take out and move it over the lot, whatever. Which
Have you
you
ever
told me,
seen the inside of a modular home when they put it together and all the trim work and how stuff lines up? It's not very good.
no.
Yeah,
I've had to repair some, and I've also had friends that have owned them, and they're not very well
Michelle,
constructed.
Michelle, he's right. The mobile homes, the really old ones, like made back in the 50s, had 5/8 plywood, which were the better ones back in the day. But it was only 5/8 thick of plywood, and it's kind of soft floor. And then in the 60s, they started switching over to where everything was particle board floors,
Yeah, I know
and
they
you
did.
fall right on through that. The new ones, they are now starting to use the edge gold decking board. They're actually making a better floor system now, but you're talking about a lot more money for those now. So I mean, manufactured homes, a lot of them, you have to be aware that they're made with aluminum wiring. There's just all sorts of nightmares with the
Aluminum
hammer.
wiring was from
I'll tell you,
1965 to 1973. So,
hammer. I'm going to tell you
Yep.
this: when I was contracting, when somebody asked me to do some repairs on their mobile homes, I always told them that I had to triple my hourly wage. I wasn't going to do nothing for free on those things. I mean, because they are too much of a pain in the ass to work on.
yeah.
Yes, I mean, I didn't actually do a whole lot on them. My boss had a friend that had contracted like a whole group of them, and we went in and just installed like the bulkheads and did like some small things inside. But you could see like how messed up. Like, no, I wouldn't say messed up, but like things weren't together quite perfectly.
Yeah. You can also
If
see
that
a
makes
lot
any
of
sense.
cord cutting because of the way they're manufactured, too, especially.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those things, you make it off site and then you get it like things aren't,
Yeah.
perfect in the real world. So you have to make exceptions and work around things, but it's hard to do when it's already been,
How you doing, Nats?
made
Welcome
off
to the
site.
show. What about a converted storage container? We covered that at the beginning. It could be done, but you're talking about a couple things to do a converted one. Number one is you got to insulate the sucker. Number two is what are you going to do with the big doors in the front? I mean, unless you're Tina Rocker, you're not going to need any doors that wide. That's true. My door is 10 feet wide. Oh, it's beautiful. But it would be good for getting in furniture, though. Yeah, that's true. Still envisioning a shipping container because it would be more custom. Well, let's put it this way: you can certainly do that. But you and Kel Doge and me and others would have to work with the material to install reinforcement for like windows and doors because you're going to be cutting into sheet metal, and so you're going to have to add the equivalent of studs inside. The guy that's part of the Night Rider project had to do the same thing with a tractor trailer. Because the trailer originally was used for the old Kit series, but what happened was is when Universal sold it outright, the guy we pretty much restored it back to its original non-television show state. So you had to basically re-insulate it, rewire it, everything.
Hey, Michelle, do you know how the electrical is done on manufactured homes? Do you know the legalities of it?
Yeah,
Those things
they
are
use electrical outlets with spikes in them to sink
well,
into the
no,
wire.
it's deeper than that, Michelle. Manufactured homes are not wired by licensed electricians. They're wired by anybody who walks on in and says, "Hey, I'll pull wire for you." They don't have to
Right.
be a licensed electrician. What they're not inspected by the state or the county or building departments. So, by licensed
No. They're
electrician
just
inspectors.
cheap.
What they are is they are engineered per that. The wiring is engineered on those houses for that particular design that you're doing there. Okay. Now, what that means is it is not legal to tap in, alter, or touch any of that wiring because the warranties become null and void, and all liabilities become null and void. If you touch that wiring, it's null and void, because it is engineered exactly the way that they installed it, and you cannot add or subtract to it.
Well, like I said, if I did it like I was gonna do, using a storage shed, as definitely I would be wiring things to both Code Plus American and BIS wiring standard for the UK, because my mind would be wired to UK electrical standard. And we all, because I would have my own independent inverter for the UK and independent inverter for the US, so it would have both American and British wiring in it, giving us the ability to run UK appliances and accessories as well as American appliances and accessories. But the problem is with that is I'm not going to go into ring mains. That's crazy. I don't want to deal with ring mains. I might just go with standard radials, 13 amp radials.
Michelle, have you talked to the electrical board about being able to do what that would take to wire to British standards over here? Because basically the way the codes are read is you got to wire to the codes that we have, and we don't do British standards on wiring. So that's
Right.
not
Well,
even
if
there.
you're off
In order,
grid and
in
you
order,
got your
in
own
order to do
inverters
that,
and your own solar
Michelle,
systems, you do
Michelle,
have that extra
the only way
flexibility.
that you'll be able to do that is if you hire an engineer to engineer what you're doing. That's British standards, and that's going to cost you more money. I'm just giving you a reality check on this wiring for British type of stuff. It's not recognized here, so you got to work within our uniform building codes.
Brittany, that's a good question because if you need work in your manufactured house, as Grace said, it's a nightmare. You would have to go ahead and get an electrician in there because you can't just tap in the wiring. If you feel up or two once come up on panel, and you can ask Chris directly or Hammer because they both of them work in the construction trade.
Star Trek, if you're going to do any work on a manufactured home on the electrical, you actually are required to get, technically, most people don't, but you're technically required to get an engineer, electrical engineer, to engineer whatever you propose to do with it.
Or maybe hire from the company itself. After all, the company built it, they know the wiring of it. I already got a name for it. Silver Moon. Silver Moon. It reminds me more of no, I know you're talking about Tranquillin, yeah. The Tranquillin
Michelle,
after it was rebuilt by the Blood Elves, yeah.
Michelle, did you watch Moose Tube's news video on explaining Iran, the war in Iran? I mean, that guy is so informed. That was really educational, Moose. I mean, I really appreciate you releasing that Moose Tube news media deal on explaining Iran. There was stuff on there that I had not realized before. Michelle, you got to check that on out.
Okay, I didn't see that one. Is that the one by Primus? That one really sucked.
No. This was just most Tube News was just explaining the whole Iran war. You know, I mean, it was very well done.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, I know that Brittany sounds excited about it. But listen, Brittany, I'm going to be honest with you up front right now. This is an educational exercise more than anything. Because, number one, nobody has the money put aside yet. The guy wants $2,000 down and like $500 a month or about $6,000 a year. But you still have to pay county taxes, property taxes. So it's for the one that's for 4.4 acres. Now, it's a lot of money, and at this point, I don't have $2,000 in my back pocket right now.
Well, what's your credit score? Could you get it?
My credit score is on the way back up again, but it's going to take a while.
It's not just the down payment, Michelle. You're going to have that piece of property before you can be moving on it. You're going to have $500 a month payment there, plus whatever living arrangements you have. So you're going to have double expense for a while.
Yeah, you're going to be paying 2 rents. Yeah.
Unless you do what I did and move out into a tent.
Oh. On a more serious thing, Brittany, what we could do is there are pieces of land that have a house on it. And I did see some with monthly household rentals for like $2,000 a month. For like a 2-bedroom, maybe 3. I don't know how many square feet they are. That would be more immediately available right now. If you go to Zillow.com, you can see those kind of household rentals. They're not. If you can get 3 or 4 people to go in on that and a household rental, that would be fine. And that would also take care of a couple problems at once. One, you have a landlord, which can be good. Or 2, more than often than not, it's not too far out in the sticks. So you're going to have at least infrastructure already on the site, like gas, water, sewer. So that might be a more immediate option, but you're still going to pay a security deposit and the first month's rent and last month's rent. So I mean, if you want to look at Zillow, I can show you some houses. The website I showed you also will show you rentals too. With houses with land on, land with houses on it, if that's what you want.
Good morning. Oh shit.
Good morning. How you doing? Let me turn you up a little bit here. So how's it going?
Crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I sound normal. Holy shit, my voice mod opened and I sounded like a fucking chipmunk. It scared the shit out of me. I don't sound like a chipmunk right now, right?
No. You don't sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks or the female versions. Good. No.
Good. Okay.
I'm just trying to get the volume levels right because everybody's different levels.
Yeah, I'm usually being loud, Michelle. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. So, you have any questions for Grizz or Hammer?
Yeah, Grizz, what would you say is cheaper in the tiny home situation? I'm just interested in numbers. Just would a regular tiny home Because obviously we said prefabs, terrible. We don't want those. Blech. So a custom tiny home, what is that? $100,000? $50,000? I don't know. I rent. I don't fucking know. I
You
want
know,
a shipping
tiny,
container
tiny
house.
homes, if a person is handy, can be built fairly affordable. But if you're going to have a contractor or a builder come in and build it, they're going to be expensive. You put it this way: to build a house, when I was framing houses and building them and stuff, it was roughly, if as a contractor, it cost $100 to $120 per square foot. That was several years ago. At the same time, if a person was to build their own house, it was somewhere around $40 a foot. That's how much labor that goes on into it. So the more a person can do, the lot more affordable it's going to be. Now, on the same token, at that same time, the square footage of a house being roughly 120 square foot to build at that time, relatively speaking, a tiny house would have cost about $160 to $180 per square foot. It costs more per square foot to build a tiny house than it does a regular house. And the reason being is, the most expensive parts of the house obviously is the kitchens and the bathrooms. Okay, well, you're still going to have the same money in the kitchens and the bathrooms in a tiny house as you have in a full blown house.
Do you think it
Is
would
that
be
just
cheaper?
because of the pipe work?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brittany.
Sorry. Is it just because of the pipe work? And then, obviously, electrical is just a very specialized
No,
trade.
it's not because of the piping itself or the specialty work. It's the material itself. You have if a tiny house is 300 square foot and you're building a bathroom that costs $10,000-$15,000. It doesn't matter what size the house is. The bathtub is going to cost this much money. The hot water heater is going to cost this much money. The bathtub shower is going to cost this much money. The cabinetry is going to cost, and that's the stuff that adds everything on up. Now and also in a full blown house versus a tiny house, the trim work is going to cost more money than framing material. Sheetrock is cheap. Texturing sheetrock is cheap, stuff like that. All this stuff where it's mass amounts is relatively cheap to do or to buy. What costs the most is the plumbing and electrical finishing products that makes it livable.
What a nightmare.
Do
Contracting
you think it would be
seems
cheaper
nightmarish.
to just find a house that's already on the property that you could basically just, even if it's gutted, and just start rewiring and plumbing that, or it's a house that already exists on the lot?
If you have a sealed in structure of any kind that you can just clean out, whether it's livable or not, if it's watered in and it's airtight basically, and you can clean it on out and then just do the work yourself as you can afford to do the repairs and the fixes, that's going to be the best way to go. Because then you got something that you can pretty much instantly move into. It's going to be tough surviving in it. You're going to have to do without a lot and learn how to do without, but that's the most reasonable way to go. Finding that piece of property with an old house that's small enough for you to work on. The thing is, you don't want a house that's too big that's going to just be too much for you to work on. And finding something like that is going to be tough, and it's not necessarily going to be cheap.
Right. So basically, look for a house that's in good shape, at least even if it's just gutted. Because one of the things is I want to do is I want my cast iron bathtub in that bathroom. And of course, we want a nice kitchen with some good old 1970s harvest gold or avocado green appliances.
Good Lord, Michelle, now the budget's going up. The budget's going up.
Yeah, I know.
I want to answer a question for Noah. She asked me if I had to get my bucket inspected. I do my own inspections daily on the bucket, Noah. So the bucket has to be inspected daily, but I do my own inspections there.
Did you get zoning for it? A bucket zone? A bucket permit?
No, actually, a bucket does not fall in the requirements of DEQ.
Thank God.
Okay.
Hear me out, Michelle. Let's buy a factory. We might have to fuck the tiny homes. Let's buy a
Well,
factory.
let's put it this way. Let's look at the reality. How much
Oh,
money
yeah,
how much money do you and Keldo's got to put in towards the project? Because
no, none.
that's
We're
going to
broke.
be
This is just
the
fun.
I hate to say that's always the big one, the big M, because money. You know, someone's going to have to manage it because someone's going to have to make the purchases. And I mean,
See, that's why Lofters is our investor. Lofters is already a landlord. This is just fantasy fun talk, Michelle. It's not
we talked about M60 doing it too.
shit. Could you imagine M60 as a landlord, though? I feel like he'd kick us out quick. He'd be like, "Come
I
on,
don't
I'm
think he would
renting
kick
out."
us out quick, but I mean, the fact of the matter is, I mean, I found one piece of land that was a hypothetical example that could have been pretty useful, but unfortunately, there's a couple things I don't know, but I can make an educated guess. For 40,000 for 4.4 acres, it's in the middle of the sticks. You're not going to be living right near a small town. You know.
How
So
do we
which means
convince
you're
the
gonna have to
government
buy
give us
you're gonna have to buy a
grants?
buggy. You're gonna have to buy a horse because I can't drive a car. You know, and the associated tack equipment for the horse. And then the horse
Michelle, read
itself
what
is gonna need
M60
its
wrote.
own stable. M60 says, "Real or not, you should set a super chat goal."
Yeah, Michelle. Even if the super chat goal is just a copy, Michelle, you really should do a super
All
goal
right,
chat.
let's make the super chat goal realistic one. How about, since we're talking about a house
5
or maybe a cottage rental? Oh, right now, let's make it 30 super chats, but we'll keep
30
it
super chats
at $5 each. For 2 hours. Why not? 3 hours. You know, I said about 3 hours. Rent a cottage. Okay. Yeah. Rent a house with starter.
Dude.
Wafters.
Okay, M60, hear me out. Do you want to invest with Wafters and you guys buy a factory? I think the commune stuff is the logistics of a commune, that's so 1970s. We can't do that now.
Yeah, I
So
definitely
let's buy an abandoned factory and we redo it. And you could have a floor, Wafters could have a floor, I could have a floor, Michelle could have the ground floor, of course. Boom. And you're our landlord. How does that sound? Would you do that?
Alright, just create a super goal, guys. It's $5 each. For 30 of them, which is $150. Which is not a lot, but let's see what happens if you're interested in that.
So, what's the goal for?
Renting a cottage with
She
me?
wants
I
to
don't
rent.
know.
She wants to rent an old warehouse, basically, or an old factory, turn it into a home. Hell, honestly, Brittany, you might as well just rent an old church because.
Well, see, what I was thinking with the factory, Michelle, is that the factory's not working anymore, so it has several floors, and then we just redo like an old house and we redo that, and I feel like that could
still going to be
contain
like
us all.
reframing a lot, and
You realize
There is
that
no
depending on what the factory,
conversion that's going to have to happen.
Depending on what the factory made, you may have to deal with hazardous waste removal. Depending on the factory, like for example, that's why the Nader building is still pretty much vacant. The factory itself is pretty much shot. I used to do acid polishing, and
they're turning an abandoned factory here into affordable housing. Like, Tons
That's
of
what-
affordable housing.
Yeah,
Yep,
well,
I
that's
bet they're sinking a lot of money into it.
The old Winchester Arms Factory is now like condos. Well, what's left of the buildings? They tore a couple of the buildings down and they converted them into businesses. But the main building is condos.
Right?
Get
Someone with a
M60
lot
to
of money
write us a
walked in there
grant.
with like a manila envelope stacked with cash and bought off the
Well, you know,
town.
factory. So yeah,
I think on a serious thing, Brittany, you would have to consider you got to start small. We're not talking about buying a big old factory. Let's just talk about buying hell, even if we had to for now, just rent a piece of a house with with some land in the back, for like
See,
$2,500 a month. At least that would take care of a couple things. And Grizz and Hammer will agree with me on this. It would take care of one, having access to water, sewer, gas, or heating oil. A landlord that does the maintenance, probably near town.
Right? Could you imagine heating a whole factory?
Oh, Jesus Christ. My landlord used to spend over $4,000 a month to heat this place when we had heating oil. Yeah.
Your apartment sounds
it's
like $18.95 sometimes, Michelle.
Well, my apartment was built in
Very old
1911,
school.
actually.
Oh shit! Turn of the century.
Pretty much.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like alternative housing that could house multiple people. Now, is this a thought that I need to I'm investing my money and doing this tomorrow? No. I just like to think of what if scenarios.
A house multiple
I've seen
people
people
can
buy-
easily be done. You can easily get a 3 and 4 bedroom house for rent.
I've
Maybe
seen
even go rent
people
to own.
change schools.
Wouldn't it be
over
more
to
practical
housing.
to like think about more practical and reasonable ventures that could actually occur?
I have no money to invest in.
I mean,
so I'm
I mean,
just
fantasies
a
are
working.
nice, but
Yeah, I'm just I work 6 days.
Right,
a
that's
week,
my goal. I'm
2
60.
jobs.
Yeah, that's my goal.
I'd like to think we could live on a YouTuber.
But it sounds like Brittany has a different goal. She wants to go big.
I
Well,
don't think we need to go big. I don't really mind. It's just I'm thinking of okay, well, what could I'm thinking it would be my sibling and I have talked about this too. This isn't just between people I talk to on the internet. My sibling's always been oh, I would love to live on a land of property where family was close by, or you and I were close by, so we could be together. And I'm like, yeah, totally. But we're both broke, so
yeah.
this is all fantasies. My family had that at one point, like I was saying the other day in West Virginia, they had a whole mountain.
Thank you for the renewal, Ancient. Much appreciated. Thank you for the renewal.
oh, nice, Ancient. What's up?
Oh, I'm sure. But again, there's that issue. You're still going to have to deal with the county. Because if you go too out in the fringe, some counties don't care. Others are going to be worse than the worst negative Nancy you could ever imagine. Good morning.
What if we
Ancient.
turn it into a YouTube series to help?
Oh, there's one guy
we filmed the whole thing.
There's a guy that restored a bowling alley. He turned it into a series on his channel. I was watching it last night. And then he also, for the bowling alley, sat down and explained the actual costs to get the bowling alley back open again. And right now, he was dealing with the pin setters that were over 60 years old and cranky and breaking down. And he went with what they call the string pin setter because that was a new thing and it was cheaper. than the old mechanical Brunswick ones that were just breaking down all the time. They said basically my net profit after all this a year wasn't as much as you think it is for a business.
Michelle, hear me out. Maybe you could purchase like a decommissioned Navy ship and turn it into like a Silver Moon floating cruise
Maybe not a Navy ship, but maybe an old, small little yacht,
line.
or maybe even an old ancient.
Yeah, some kind of like cabin cruiser or something.
Yeah.
That would
Cabin
be
cruiser
fun.
would be fine for a family of 1 or 2, but if you're going to put 4, 6 people on there, it's going to be very snug.
Well, you charge them.
See, with the
So you
factory
could,
idea, we make extra units and then we could Airbnb it out. We could do that
oh,
on the
see,
ship.
that's probably a very good idea too. The having an income
Or you
coming
could
in
do
would be
something
great.
similar like the original Queen Mary does up there in San Francisco Harbor. Just except the difference is make it so you actually can get a captain to pilot it. I'm sure you can buy an older, small little ship that probably is being decommissioned but still seaworthy. But that's going to have a whole nother set of regulations that I'm not going to go through. That's to tell you that you have to go through with the Coast Guard inspections. You have to make sure everything meets maritime policies. Another idea some people do is they
Do you
build.
have sea legs, Michelle? Are you a sea
Yeah,
legged person?
I'm good on the ocean, actually.
I've never seen the ocean. No.
Oh, you never been on? Oh man, you'd be
Never seen it in person.
Yeah, you never seen it. You never been on the ocean. I have been on the ocean, and I've been because we're not too far away from the ocean. I mean, yeah, it's about an hour away, but still, I have been on cruise ships, and the weather's nice, and the water's calm. It's great, but if the weather's rough, it'll scare the living daylights out of you when you realize that your house is now bobbing in the ocean like a cork on it's just even with your stabilizers working full time, you're gonna be bobbing up and down side by side in rough seas. So if you've never been on a ship, I would say try something on the Great Lakes, because at least it's a little easier than the ocean. Just go take a ferry, see what
I
it's
want to
like.
do this Vampire the Masquerade cruise, Michelle. It's like a TTRPG. You know how they do like Dungeons and Dragons and like Star Trek, the cruise. They do one for Vampire the Masquerade, but it is so damn expensive. It's like $5,000 to go play with dice. That's too much. But if you go to Sweden.
Well, let's put it this way. Then there's a realistic expenses how much it would cost to maintain a ship at all. One, how much money is it going to cost you for the diesel for the engines? Or even if
here's
you're...
a good question, Michelle. Could you just park it forever, or do you have to move it?
Well, you might.
Could people just park a houseboat?
That's what they did with the Queen Mary. Yeah, sure. But look what's happening with the Queen Mary now. The berth it's in, they still haven't really inspected it below the waterline significantly. The berth is starting to deteriorate because it was parked in 1965. So, and the owners of the Queen Mary, there have been a couple of them, and it's very expensive. It's a hotel now, but it still costs money. You know what you could also do is build a houseboat, and there's a couple of different designs of that. Pontoon houseboat is one
designs.
thing. Yeah.
I was listening to like a historical thing, and I didn't realize, I guess for some reason, that people were living on houseboats in Germany during the war, and I was like, oh shit, oh damn.
Yeah.
I just never, I guess you never really thought like. I feel like if a war's going on, you should be like, let's take this houseboat out of here. We should houseboat along. They just stayed.
Well, it depends if the houseboat has an engine or not. Many don't. They need to be pulled by another boat, like a tug. Once they release the mooring lines, because it doesn't have an engine for station keeping. So they're lashed up to the dock. And so that needs to be considered. The fact is, you still got to pay dock fee because you actually need that dock to get to and from your boat. I already checked into that. Houseboat idea, custom building it yourself it requires a lot more experience than just building a cottage. Because the fact is that you have to deal with buoyancy. You can't.
Well, you don't have to worry about plumb and level on a boat. Everything's done by measurement. So that's one thing that you don't have to worry about.
No, yeah. Also, the fact is you also have to deal with the fact that, water displacement. You can't build a skyscraper in the ocean. Oh, on an ocean you could if you had a big enough base, i.e. like a cruise ship to start with. Like the Queen of the Seas or
Michelle,
something.
I got a hypothetical here. If somebody could build a city under the ocean, would you go? Would you live under the ocean? If it could totally work out.
Michelle lives in like the sub capital of the United States. I wonder if you could get like a decommissioned sub and, create a Silver Moon submarine.
Could Michelle operate
I don't think I
submarine?
could deal with that kind of water pressure pushing down on me because even 100 feet below the water, the atmospheric pressure can crush you. You need to remember that water is very heavy, and it's going to be pushing on your vessel on all sides. Do I have a domain? You mean internet domain? Originally was on dhis.org, pinkrose.dhis.org. I'm still technically on pinkrose.dhis.org, but I haven't had a website on it in years. Right, David, yes, exactly. You're right. They're both kinds. But what Brittany doesn't realize is that I've looked into all of this. And so let's look at the reality of things from beginning to end. Number one, and this is where everybody needs to write down their wants because you got to determine what things make sense for right now. We're going to have to do it in stages. Okay? So, Brittany, what I would do...
I could agree with that.
...is sit down, word processor, paper, whichever one you want. Write down your wants. But then ask yourself, how much am I going to be able to contribute toward that want? Because I am not Gloria Vanderbilt. I don't have the kind of money to finance that project. And then once we do that, we can throw in a tech group. We can then look at the numbers and say, okay, we could probably do some of this because we combine our resources together. We might have access to about, say, $15,000 a year, right? $15,000 a year. Because I got a total of $19,000 in Social Security disability. But make sure you understand, I'm still paying rent here at this point. So that means that the rent is gone, 1,000 of it right off the top. Plus, I have to pay for utilities here. So that means we have to know how much available money all this is. And now we can make a decision. Well, can we do X? Can we do Y? Can we do something similar to X, but maybe have to start with less of the desires and more of the essentials? You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, Michelle, totally. I'm bringing most of this stuff in like a what if?
No, I don't
'Cause I know
have. I
you-
don't have a private domain like Snow Queen. Now I can get one M60, say from one of the like GoDaddy or something like that. The only thing is, if I was to host anything, I would probably be best to host it on a remote server, because if I have to host it here on this internet in this apartment, my internet would be clogged up. Even to do the snow phone, really should have been running through Astra. Should have been running on a different network. Well, actually, that's not necessarily impossible, Ancient, for short term. Maybe living in a yurt. It ain't glamorous.
Yurts are cool.
Yeah, they're cool as long as you get one that's well insulated for the winter, wherever you're going to be moving to. And that's another thing nobody really talked about is where. We need to figure out the where and the how. Because without the where and the how, we're basically like floating on the ocean without a compass, praying to God that somebody can navigate by the North Star. But we still don't have nautical maps. So we need to know where you want to live and how you want to live and how you're going to finance it.
I'm gonna start blackmailing people, Michelle, and make millions, and then we'll have our commune
I don't know
all together. Nah. But most of this is like, I like those tiny home shows, right? I've always liked tiny homes. I think they're cool. I'd like a tiny
I've
home,
seen
but
it for
realistically,
I've seen pretty simple ones for like $15,000. But that still doesn't necessarily cover the delivery charge. I know they've also seen ones with the wheels too on Amazon. But I don't have a car, or they could probably pull those with a nice V8 engine, like on a big station wagon. But honestly, I don't have one, so wheels would be nice, but kind of optional, because they're gonna suffer from sinking in the mud, dry rot, and everything else. And the electric brakes will have to be tested and make sure that they're working properly. Of course, the new tiny home on wheels already has all that done, or should have it done, if the builder knew what the hell they were doing. Yeah, Ancient, I get the idea. Like Chris said, there are tiny little wood stoves. You can even install them in travel trailers. And that's another temporary solution, is a travel trailer. Because, Brittany, this kind of means your tiny house thing. Like a small little travel trailer, like a 20-foot by 10-foot. It has a kitchen, has a bathroom, heat. It would be good enough for getting started. So if you wanted to buy the land and park it on there, and as long as you have access to well and sewer, you're all set with electricity from solar panels. So
I need to become a carpenter and a contractor. I need to get like 10 other careers under my belt in the next like 10 years, right?
That's
And
why
then I
you
could build a
work
house.
with. That's why you work with others. Remember, this like the Beatles song says, "I get by with a little help from my friends." I know how to do carpentry. I know how to
That's
do
true.
electrical. I know how to do water. I know how to do gas. So I never done a boiler, but I suppose we could figure out that one. You know, get an inexpensive heating oil burner. You know, so we don't have to deal with propane. It's gonna cost you about the same amount of price.
Or Michelle, like back in the day when people would just be able to buy whole buildings and, like they would have their whole family in the building, and then, if the
Well,
family
you could
moved
do
away,
that
there'd be
too.
somebody that
Like what I
stayed.
said, you could just buy an older house that has to be, that you can flip, but not for sale, but to live in. People do that too. They'll find older houses that are kind of in a meh condition and renovate them. Of course, there is a realistic thing when you take down the walls, you might find problems that are going to make you scream, like termites, roaches, carpentry ants. But that's what you get. Look at the Irish. If you're lucky, you might get a house under the plaster that's not full of those nasty critters. Maybe. Or maybe one where the roof doesn't leak, because a roof replacement is going to cost you. Sure, you can do it yourself, but it's going to take a while. And which means that you also have to cover the damn unfinished roof with some kind of a tarp in case it rains. Yeah.
Sorry, Michelle, I just Googled tiny home. I'm just looking at articles and random bullshit.
I
don't know. There's something charming, like I said before, about a smaller place. There's a small house.
Oh, I didn't ask you this. What is your zodiac sign? That might give me a clue to what you're thinking.
My zodiac sign?
Yeah.
I'm a Taurus.
Oh,
I'm the last day to be
okay.
a Taurus.
I'm Virgo. All right, so Virgos and Taurus usually work together. I forgot. I did ask you that once before. But the other thing is how many other people are going to get involved with this project. Got to figure that out too.
Could you imagine, Michelle? We could have. We'll get everybody. We'll get M60. We'll get Val. Say we sell everybody. Could you imagine the content we could do?
The hell, the whole building, the whole thing would be content. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah,
I feel like we could become bajillionaires.
Like I said, like that one guy who bought that old bowling alley that closed in 2022, right? In outside of Chicago. Of course, he already opened it up as a bowling alley, as a business, but it's a different situation. But still, the idea could be done. Well, have you talked to Val about this? Because you're kind of assuming she want to jump in on this. And she's already kind of has some experience with some of this. So, if you haven't already talked to Val, I would say is, we don't know if she's interested or not.
Val probably doesn't want to move. Well, we all said that we want to do a content house at one point, right?
Right. At this point, she's on the other side of the country, and just like Gidgey found out, moving is a real pain in the asshole. Now, I don't know how many families she has, and she's living with kids or not. So Val may not be a person that's interested in it right now. She might come in later. But the people we need to know now is who are the ones that are ready to commit.
I think it's just you and me right now, Michelle, and I don't know if I'm ready to 100% commit. I'm more in like this could be a reality, but it's very, 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 very far away. Because I'm broke.
Yeah, I agree.
Michelle?
It is definitely something that would take a couple of years to plan.
Michelle, I really need to break in here for a minute. I just got a call from Moose, and he has a very valid point. You do have some haters, like Keycates or whatever, and a number of people that would like to start trouble. And Moose was just pointing out to me that we all know that it's a joke, you posting up collecting money for this house, but it can be considered as false pretense, and that can be reported, and that can have if some of these idiots on out there report it, you could lose your channel. So I would change it, at least word it saying, hey, this is a joke, or change it to something that's not under false pretense.
What do you mean lose my channel?
If you're collecting money under false pretense, if that money is collected for a house and you don't use it for a house, that's false pretense.
Okay, you're talking about the goal that's sitting on the screen right now.
Yeah, we know it's a joke, but some people don't. They're not going to see it as a joke. That's something that can be reported. So I would change it, either let it be known that it's a joke, or change it to a goal for collecting coffee or something. Something that
okay, I
can't
could
be
change it to
reported.
something
You might
that's
need to
more.
end it.
I could change something that's a little more realistic. Let me
You might
change
have to remove it,
to.
make a new one.
Let's keep it $10. Let's change it to 3 hours. Sounds fine. Well, let's see. They don't need to do 30 super chats. Let's change it to 10. Let's see. How about take noodles to dinner? Okay. Yeah, I think take Chris to dinner. Okay.
Take Chris sounds better because Chris is around right now. Y'all
I
haven't
can do
squashed.
that. Chris. Okay, take Chris to dinner. All expense paid. Okay, so let's set that for 3 hours. And $5 is $50. That sounds like a doable goal. Okay. I already have plans to take them to dinner, pretty much paying the expenses. Oh, let's see. There we go. So it's updated now. So it's changed to take Chris to dinner, all expenses paid. So that's a little more down to earth. I was kind of joking about the house thing, but nobody was jumping at it.
They're just being extra cautious. It's a good idea, Michelle, just in case.
Yeah.
Michelle, I want to add one more thing. You really should have this.
That money's
this goal
in the
deal up there,
PayPal right now,
even when
guys.
you don't.
Yes. What? You know what? Why not go for a better dinner? Hey, look, guys. We got $77 in PayPal. That was donated through Botrix for the dinner. Because remember, YouTube doesn't pay me until the 21st. But what about next time he comes here? Because he says he's going to be here for about a week. I mean, on vacation for about a week. So maybe he and I might want to go to someplace closer to his area and have dinner there.
That can be a goal too, Michelle. But I would like to encourage you that even when you don't have a goal to put on up, always add a coffee goal or a tea goal, just for small donations on every live stream that you do. Always have a donation fund goal posted, even if it's just for coffee and tea. And it's great to have other goals, the main goals like the date with Chris, or and different stuff, or go a date with Noodles, or different stuff. Those goals are excellent too. But when you don't, just have a coffee or tea fund donation deal going.
Well, we have, because Botrix is doing the bookkeeping with the people that donated by Botrix, we have that goes right into PayPal, which is immediately usable for going out, because that doesn't get tied in with AdSense, Super Chat, Super Stickers, and Super Thanks. Because it goes straight into PayPal. So when we go out, we'll be using our PayPal card for paying for the food and things. Because I don't get paid until the 21st from YouTube. He wants to come meet up with me on the 14th. So that's why I'm pushing the Botrix more than ever. Right. So if you really want to help out everybody, guys, you might want to use the Botrix goal, which is on the screen there. Thanks for the donations. Plain anonymous goals are accepted. Because that's money that goes right into my PayPal. And it's anonymous, which means that I don't have to worry about waiting, until the 21st to get paid. And that's a big deal. So let me pin that comment here. If you want to donate that way, that'd be fine. I have no problem with it. Because it's cash. I don't have to wait until the 21st for YouTube to pay me. And that's kind of important. What do you think, Chris? Am I right or not?
I think Grizz went out the room. But I'm going to agree with M60 with putting a tip goal every time. And I think, too, okay, if people donate more, you guys could go to another restaurant. Not just, what was it?
Right.
Shake Shack? That's where you guys want to go?
Maybe we could even go to a nicer restaurant. Maybe we could go to Applebee's, Outback. Me and Noodles went to...
Applebee's ain't nice.
Right.
Let's pick a different... Let's mix that up. I think, because, Applebee's, I feel like, is on the same price level as, Shake Shack. I feel like Shake Shack might be more expensive than Applebee's, maybe.
Right. What about a nice local Italian restaurant in Canton or Farmington?
That would be awesome, Michelle.
I know Olive Garden isn't exactly the top line, but could be a possibility too. Something like the Olive Garden or a better quality one. Maybe in
sometimes, Michelle, those mom and pop Italian restaurants are cheap.
Yeah, well, we got a nice one in town called Monaco's. The Tributary would be a good choice because you can get steaks and chops too. Sizzler, yeah.
Isn't that like the South Denny's? We don't have that here. We don't got Sizzlers.
You don't have Sizzler, okay. I don't know if Connecticut does either.
Uh-oh. Chris Bliss said we're not going to a chain. Uh-oh. Chris, are you finding a local place?
Uh-oh.
Okay, that's fine. We can find a local place. Torrington is full of them. I'm sure Farmington and Canton are too. For example, Luke's Donuts is not a chain.
Oh yeah, that donut place.
Now, yeah, definitely want to go to that. I think Chris would love those donuts.
Oh,
Stan CT suggested Shake Shack, so we can go to Luke's. We can go to Shake Shack, and then we can go someplace with decent food for the night.
You're gonna have a night on the town. I'm excited. Are you gonna live stream the show?
Maybe we can find a decent Brazilian restaurant because I know there were some decent ones outside of the mall that are not chains. Brazilian barbecue, like the one we went to in Waterbury, it was good. I like that place.
Yeah, Waterbury.
But Banana Brazil is kind of a chain. It's not.
I don't know how, but we ended up at the one in Waterbury. a few times.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got
Canadian
there.
barbecue is so good.
We were
I
there.
have not done mini golf in almost 30 years. So, Chris, no, I'm not good at mini golf. Have you ever done duck pin bowling by chance? It's got a small ball. It's not. I sent you a video what duck pin bowling looks like. It's not bad. I can
They have
handle
those in arcades a lot.
You know, they have these things like they're like it looks like a slide for bowling balls. So you move the slide thing, and then you put the ball on the slide.
Yeah, I've
and
seen
then-
that for big 10 pin. Yeah.
Yeah, they do have that at all bowling alleys. I've seen people use them. You know, like the kids and some of the older people. But yeah, I was on the bowling league for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I was on the bowling team in school.
I mean, it's the idea is we have more money available in cash to do more things. $77 is going to disappear fast. I mean, depending on what you're going to do. I mean, just for the hell of it. Let's say, for example, you go to a restaurant. I'm going to use Applebee's as an example because I do know how much it costs for Applebee's. So let's just figure a nice steak dinner and a soda, something like that. It's going to cost you like $25. You got $77 in cash. That means each person can only spend no more than, say, 33. Yeah, maybe about 40 something dollars. Wait, that's too much. 37 maybe 30. Yeah, 37. That's pretty close, right? So $37 tops. So if you're gonna get drinks and a meal, that's not a lot. You know, because you want to go out there and go posh. You want to pay. You want the best dining restaurant experience you can get.
Yeah, we were doing that. Yeah, we did that like once a year. Company.
We do have 170, but remember, half of that money is tied up in super chats, super stickers, and super thanks.
Mm-hmm.
That money you don't get paid until the 21st. The people that donated through PayPal, through Botrix, that money is available right now. No excuses. Yes, Chris, I just explained it. The other money doesn't get paid out until the 21st by from AdSense. Actually, Duckpin was from Maryland originally, but it became a New England game. Because she understands it. She does understand it. Because AdSense doesn't pay you before the 21st. Maybe if you go to JG Wentworth, it's my money and I need it now. Okay. There's going to be a commission. I got to be paid too to get you the money. Oh, God. I thought everybody knew that Super Chat, Super Things, and Super Stickers got paid on the 21st of the month. I kept telling people that. So I didn't lie to anybody. It was just conveniently forgotten that I told them I don't get paid until the 21st. So the cash that we have in cash and PayPal that came in through Botrix is available right now. That's why I've been putting anonymous tips up here through Botrix, because that's how we're paying for this. No. Oh, wait, is that what you're thinking? Moose, is that what you're thinking? Well, you guys don't really know the reality, do you? Look, I can take the money out of my checking account, but then I have to refill the checking account again, right?
Yeah.
Or I can take it out on my credit card, but then I still have to give back to the credit card too. The other
problem
$100.
is,
That's the problem. It's
I
not.
mean, you got.
It's not
It's like
the inconvenient truth that I didn't tell anybody, because I did tell everybody that.
Well, you know you're getting the money, so you can take it out of your checking and then put it back when you get it.
Yeah. Yes, we could do that. But I have to pay before they accrue interest on that. And that's something that me and M60 have been pulling our hair out over. So let me just go through explain this real quick. I got a credit card. I got to pay $102 minimum payment, and then I have another credit card that has a $77 minimum payment. Okay, that's $179 minimum payment. That doesn't really touch the principal that's owed. It just pays the interest. So
thank God I don't have a credit card.
So, which means like M60 saying, pay Amazon first. Put $200 in Amazon. Yeah, what about Ally? Olo. I gotta pay that card too. So I can't just skip paying Ally Olo because my credit score is gonna tank. They're gonna take me to collections. And the fact that they just gave me, I got a credit limit now of $2,700. Oh, actually, no, way more than that. $3,700 available credit limit. I'm not gonna fuck that up. You kidding me? That's good money right there for if I need it. Who scared me or Gitchy?
I think he means Gidgy.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Gitchy said, I just want her to understand this is a bad look. She gets paid a week after the date she can charge rest. Yeah, but then the interest rate's gonna go up too because they're gonna charge me. Was it compound daily or is it weekly? I don't really want to keep running up my credit card tab and then I have to pay back the $100. Okay, so
Recording started.
apparently I forgot to start recording. Actually, this
Hey.
or did you pause it? Oh, maybe they did.
We were recorded. All right.
It's the live caption thing on the side. You know how she had it like
It's
Google
kind of like
Meets
the
it.
captions on the Google Meets. It does the same job. It gives captions. It also gives a transcript in the end, just like the Google Meets one does. Excuse me. Let me say one thing about the solar panel real quick.
Hi, Gidgy.
They're paid for.
Hi, I'm not going to yell because I'm moving and I'm sweaty and I'm hot, but I just have a question. You understand, Michelle, that the money that you raised for the goal, sweetie, remember we've talked about this lots of times in the years. When you raise money for a goal, you got to spend all that money, even though you and Chris could care less if the money is spent. Chris could care less if you spent $1. I know Chris. Chris doesn't want you to spend your money, right?
I know that.
But the problem is we've raised $170. Everyone was excited for you all to have a lot of money to do a lot of things.
Right.
Hopefully by the time this comes around, you and Noodles are going to be good. So now it's going to be 3 people, Michele. That's why it was $170.
Right, I get that.
So
all right, now, but what people forgot, and I did tell them this up front, guys, make sure you understand YouTube doesn't pay me until the 21st of the month. Chris was saying the 14th.
Michele, a normal viewer would never know that, sweetie. A normal viewer would never know that or listen to it or pay attention to it. Right. I promise you, a normal viewer would never know that. Nor, Michele, is it a normal viewer's responsibility to know anything about your finances?
M60, you want to come up and talk too? Because I'd like to.
Jesus fucking Christ. Michele, I'm just trying to make a point. I'm going to jump down. It's not going to be a fight.
Gidgey, can I just please ask
Go
the
ahead,
question?
M60.
Is it about the fact that she set a goal at all, or is it that she set a goal saying take Chris to dinner?
No, it's about the fact that she set a goal, achieved it, and now we're only getting half the money we've paid into it. She's done this for 5 fucking years, Crit, or M60.
Hold on. What do you mean you're only getting half the money?
She's only using $70 of the 170 we raised.
Because that was in PayPal, and that money is available right now.
I don't know why you're not getting this, M60. If you're telling her this is okay, you're crazy.
Gidgey, you do understand anything. I mean, you do this too. You understand anything that she would have made in July wouldn't get paid.
I understand that. Hey, baby, I understand how things work. Okay? When I set a goal and I put a dollar figure on it, I promise you my viewers are going to get that dollar figure. They're not going to get half of it. And I'm going to say, whoopsie. Are you kidding? Are you just, hang on, M60, I'm going to stay calm. I promise. Are you justifying that she is only spending half the money she raised on the goal? And I would like Brittany's input also.
I already told you, and I explained.
I'm asking Brittany and M60. Your 2 trusted confidants, remember?
If you'd like my answer, if she raised the amount of money and is doing the thing, then I don't think it matters how much money she actually spends on the thing.
I don't think it's the money spending. I think what Gidgey's wondering is you collected 170 fucking bucks. Some of that money went into your Botrix and paid into the tip fund, which is immediately available as cash. The
Christina,
other $100 is in super chat, super stickers, and super thanks that you don't get paid until a week after you and Chris are supposed to hang out.
It is none of your viewers' business when you get paid. When you set a goal, go ahead.
So then it's basically she needs to make sure that she spends $170 in total with this whole thing.
Well, that's kind of what we expect. Yes. We paid a goal for $170 when Brian PC came in and paid the $60 that's in her PayPal account. He expected to see a fun outing with Chris, and at that time it was Noodles. And, $170 is not much when you're talking about 3 adults going out on the town.
So right now the immediate option is,
now she's spent the past 2 days talking about how she can get away with doing the goal. Hang on, Michele, let me finish real quick. Michele, real quick. Now we're trying to figure out, honey, is how to do the goal on half the money, right? The past 2 days, we've been talking about how we can do it for $70 instead of 170.
Okay, listen to me. I could take another $100 out of my checking account, but then I have to put it right back in on the 21st. Okay, when it goes
literally a week after the date. Not even a week after the date, you get paid. All I'm saying is, look, Michele, you do what you want. You guys all do what you want. Michele, I care about you a lot. Tiger's not here, and I'm trying to do my best, but this is a really bad look. If people are telling you this is fine, don't worry about it, Michele, they're not your friends, okay? They're not being truthful. This is bad when you put a goal up with a dollar amount, and then a week later you say, well, I'm not going to have that, so I'm only going to be able to spend half. We got to figure... Exactly, Spaghetti, but we can't. That's the problem. Spaghetti, trust me, I've thought about this before I came up here yelling.
I can't because that's when he has his vacation. He can't move it. He's only
So
Yeah, I
you guys,
assume the
you
day
guys, if
was
you guys
set.
are okay with it, that's fine. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, I go ahead, Brittany.
I'm just gonna say my 2 cents is that I would say what Gidgey's saying about spending the whole amount of money towards whatever is planned. I would assume yes. A viewer is assuming that that money is entirely going to whatever project, whatever you put it behind. But
No, Chris has a job.
would
Chris
I
works.
That's
care?
fair if that's the assumption, and I would say, yeah, Michelle, just move the
Oh,
money from
Brittany,
your
you won't
checking and then
care.
pay it
You're
back
still new.
later.
Brittany, you're still new. You wouldn't care. We didn't care the first 2 years it happened. Tiger was still shelling out hundreds. She would donate in the hundreds. Okay, just FYI.
That's
I
fair.
would. So what I'm saying
I
is,
can't
all of us
control.
that. All I'm saying is, all
All
of us that
right,
have
let me say
donated are
something
going to
now.
stop because this
Excuse
happens for the past
me.
5 years.
Excuse me. Listen, everybody. I'm going to say this once. Michelle did buy some things in the past that she needed. People thought were frivolous, but they weren't. But those are paid for. Now,
Solar panels,
you know the things. I don't even have to go through the list.
braille machine. Oh, okay. All
Now,
right.
braille
I thought we were
machine,
going through
the
list.
solar panels, which we do use. The thing here is
That's mini
they're
fridge.
paid for already. All right. We're talking about something completely different. We're talking about going out, having a good time, but the money that's unfortunately super chats, super stickers, and super things, and yes, goals goes into assets. They don't pay you until the 21st. So what is Michelle going to do? She's going to take it out of her checking account. Right now, her checking account, because she went and bought some supplies, is down to $160.
And here we are talking about money. Michelle, honey,
Okay,
can't we
but-
keep this in private? Can't we keep the money talk in private? Look, Michelle, you've already said we only have 70. So just spend 70. Do it this way. Do what Grizz said. If anyone says anything, you tell them, hey, I spend 70 on the day. The other 100 is for my expenses for management, period. Just leave it at that and be done with it. But all of you that keep trying to push her to make money and set these goals, I am telling you with 5 years of experience, it's never changed. This is what will happen. There's nothing wrong. What we've done in the past to avoid this is just give her money. Just give her money. However much money she has, that's what we do. Because when we set goals, I promise, you can go back and look, you will never get what you asked for or what was promised. It doesn't work. And that's just Michelle, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying this is bad. I'm trying to protect this woman. There are people right now. Hang on one sec. There are people.
She's trying to say something. Go ahead.
I was in the middle of talking and he interrupted me, so I will finish my fucking sentence. Thank you, Michelle. I am trying to protect her from the people that are actively making lolcow videos about her right now. I saw a new one pop up today.
I know
you realize
about
there are people out there
those.
making fun of her. You realize that. So let's keep doing shit to make people make fun of her like this. I'm done. Go ahead, M60.
Well, I'm curious. Make fun of her for what? But
they make fun of her for everything, for stealing money, for fake. Oh, you go watch all the detractor videos about her.
I feel like you're acting like this is the Enron scandal. This is just extremely explosive.
Do you understand that? Okay, do you understand that there are people we got to donate that haven't? Michelle, when's the last time? Never mind. Never mind. I'm just, you know what? You're right. I am. You're right. I'm making way too much out of it. Keep talking about your credit card bills. That's why I came up, actually, was when she went into the credit card debate.
That's the only point that I've been trying to make here is that
Then,
she's
you know what?
make money.
You're going to keep pushing people away, M60. Keep doing it, but you're going to be stuck with this. Okay? I've watched this cycle. You don't believe me. I didn't believe people when they were telling me. All right? When you set goals and you don't meet them.
She just needs to make some money on her stream. That's it.
Okay. All right. Keep it at that. Yeah.
I don't see the issue.
And how's she going to keep making money when she doesn't fulfill her goals? Tell me that.
But
are you and Brittany going to keep donating and fulfilling all of her goals with Hammer? Are the three of you going to solely support her?
I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to listen. I'm just going to listen.
I'm asking because I see the same people donating now. I know who's donating, and I appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
Yes, you are awesome.
But you have to understand, that the tiger kitties, the Geminis, the Gidgies, the moose, the fucking noodles, all the people that used to drop 20s on the regular, 50s, hundos, that shit isn't happening anymore. Want to know why? I'll let you all figure it out.
Economy.
When's the
That's
last
what
time
it
you
is.
got a hundo, Michelle? When's the last time you got a red dono? Come on, guys. Y'all care so much? Give her a fucking red dono. Let's see it. I'm waiting. She needs to make money, right, M60?
All right. First of all,
You're asking me to give her $100 so that she'll make money. I'm just trying to help her make money long term, and all I've been telling her
can't
to
you
do.
understand? Can't you understand what I'm? It's like you're not M60. We have a
No,
separate
I
group. You really
don't.
hang on. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm sorry to the person that redid the group. There's a separate group because people are so frustrated right now that have been with her for years because of all the new stuff that's going on. I am being honest with you because I like you. I like Brittany a lot more than I like you, but I like you. I'm joking. I like you both. I seriously do. You guys are awesome fucking people. I love you guys.
Well,
Sketty down in the end.
Gidgy.
Listen, but what scares me
yes,
is
we're going out
I
on
don't
a
want to
date.
lose you
That's
guys.
still on the books,
I don't.
guys.
Well, what do you think this is
Yes, we will
accomplishing
spend
right now?
170, even if I have to basically
Yes,
empty
of
my
course.
checking
Chris
account
already said,
completely
no,
before
Chris
the
will pick it
21st.
up, Michelle. And this could have all been taken care of in the back end, like I told you 2 days ago. Don't bring it up on stream. You know Chris is, I even told you, Michelle, you know Chris is not afraid to open his pocketbook when he's with you. He's a generous
I know
man.
that, but
why in
I
Go ahead.
also want to put something towards it as well, because that's why we were trying to make the money, so that I could basically show that I'm putting something
Michelle.
towards it.
Right, but Michelle, if you wouldn't have said anything, everyone would have thought you would have spent the 170. It would have been taken care of. We talked about this behind the scenes.
All right, let's talk about the other topic that you kind of alluded to. Who is talking bad smack about me and why? Now, I don't want to hear about the money, because that
Michelle?
ain't the only reason.
I know who.
That ain't the only reason. It's not the only reason it's money. Come on, Gidgy. Who the
There
hell
are
is
3
talking
different
smack
people,
about
Michelle.
me?
There are 3 different channels right now putting out videos on
And
you. Did
who
you see
the
latest
fuck
one?
are
God,
these
it was
3
repulsive.
channels?
Michelle, I don't
Who
know.
runs
I'm not
these
God.
3 channels? Who are they?
Michelle, who cares? Why do you care?
I
They're
care
assholes.
for the
Fuck 'em.
reason you just stated.
Michelle, calm down. Calm down. Don't do this online, Michelle. Please calm down. Please.
Well, you're the one who started
You need to go
yelling
to the bathroom.
first. Now I'm going to finish the yelling.
Okay. You're right.
The fact of the matter is, you
Let's calm
pointed
it
out
down.
there are people who are basically making me look bad for no reason, unsponsored, uninvited, unwelcome.
Calm down. Calm down. I want you to lower. I'm allowed to get mad and yell. You're not.
I'm allowed to get mad too. Because
No,
I'm sick and
you're
tired of
not.
my reputation going down the
Nobody should be
goddamn
getting mad or
cesspit.
yelling. Nobody should be getting mad or
Shut
yelling,
up, Moose.
okay? None of
No,
this is that fucking serious. That was the
Listen,
point that I was trying to
My
make.
fear is this has been building. We had finally gotten people that nobody was making videos about her, nobody was talking about her. Now all of a sudden we've got these 3 different channels that are spamming these shorts of, oh, look what Michelle did today. Oh, Michelle's trying to get money for this. Michelle's trying to get money for that. And Michelle has a history, all right?
On the other hand, if you looked at how many people have been watching the show, that's also been going up as well.
Yes, we're sitting at 19. That's a much bigger number than the
It was a lot
20
higher
we
than
had
that
yesterday.
before. It was like
But so,
27 when
all
you
I'm
first
gonna
started
say is
yelling.
that this is why I said just do something simple as far as just show the fridge or whatever, instead of like putting a goal that says like specific things. Like when you do specific things, then Gidgy gets worked up, and people.
Why does Gidgy get worked up? Why does
Because
and see, this is
people
the bad
start
thing.
asking about where the money goes and what does it do this and whatever, and I just think like you just do something simple that
And let
isn't
me ask
like
you another question
hard
too,
to
Gidgy.
accomplish.
Why do you keep harping on, not you so much, but other people, why do you keep harping on my damn solar panel system and my braille display? I do not understand why.
Because we're showing
No,
that you
shut up
make
for a minute. I'm not even
because-
done. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just trying to say is, why does that matter so much? The money that's donations are
I will tell you when you
basically
finish.
given
I will tell
as
you. I have an answer.
something that they believe is going to be useful for the show, and they are. That, of course, the Braille display.
How's that Braille machine useful for the show, Michelle?
For example,
I'll
we've been
wait.
talking about accessibility for the blind here on the show, and a couple
Right.
tech
How
talks.
is that? How is that very expensive old Braille machine helping your show?
I
I'll wait.
bought that at a charity for $450 over 4 years ago.
Wow, 4 years ago. Okay, wow. Well,
And
it wasn't
you
4 years
still
ago, first of all.
talk about it.
First
You and
of all,
other
it wasn't
people
4
are
years
still
ago. Look at
talking
your
about
dates.
it
I'll
4
wait till you're
years
done.
later.
I'll wait till you're done. Tell me when you're done,
And then
I
you
will
do the
respond.
same thing about my solar panels, which actually kicked in a couple of times useful, going to keep the power on when we had a blackout.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing.
2 hours of
No
power.
worse than having a gasoline or propane generator in your backyard.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, Michelle, I live on an island that gets hurricanes on the regular, and I don't have a generator, but hey, I understand priorities. I don't have that kind of money to
No,
throw
I did
around.
not
You
get.
do.
Oh, yes, we did get some money. And yes, it did go to the dental work. It did.
I know, Moose, they don't know this. Moose, all the new people don't know any of this about the dental racket. Then the racket before that was moving.
All right,
the
now I'm
racket
going to
before
let
that was
M60
something else.
explain his viewpoint. He did explain this once
I
before.
was waiting to respond to you. Well, hang on, you were talking to me, remember, Michelle? So before M60 gets to talk, I'm going to respond to what you said because you asked me a question, remember? You asked me why I personally keep harping on the Braille machine, shush, and the solar panels, right?
Yeah.
Right, Michelle? You asked me that question. So let me explain it to you. In my personal opinion, which doesn't matter, that Braille machine that you said you bought out of charity, you are fucking
I bought
charity.
at
You
a
can't
charity
be donating
online.
for charity.
Giddy.
Dumbass. Fucking idiot. That's stupid. That is so. She is not a stupid person. Michelle, you are very fucking intelligent, and you know you are. It pisses me off when you try to act stupid
I bought
for
the
these
Braille
people, and you know you're
machine
doing
at
it.
a charity auction on eBay. Okay.
Michelle, why are you on a charity auction? You're charity.
To support a local charity in Seattle. All right.
Michelle, you live. Oh, Jesus. Stop. Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it because the more you talk about it, the more I'm going to become unfucking hinged. Listen, Tiger. Oh, God, Tiger, hurry the fuck up, bitch. I talk to Tiger daily.
That's a good example spaghetti model, actually.
Michelle, what? Where? Hang on.
Yeah,
Hang on.
I was going to
Keldos,
bring that up.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Brittany.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Can we hear
Scatty,
from
I get
somebody
that.
else, please?
Okay,
Can I finish answering her? Yeah, she is, Noah. But I'll finish answering her once we hear about how it took someone 8 months to do a goal that they reached, which is not unheard of. The problem is Michelle isn't talking about not doing a goal. She's talking about just paying half of it. Ancient Dan! Oh my God! Hi, babe. I hope you're good, Ancient Dan. It is so good to see you. I never get to talk to you, David. I never get to talk to Ancient.
All right, come on up, Ancient. There's David S.
Ah, that's so cool. Sorry, I really like Ancient. Tell us about how the hair dye.
Okay, so someone donated to spin the wheel, a wheel goal. It was the hair dye goal. Keldosh can't do this by himself. He's blind, so we had to wait until he was here to do it properly. But it took 8 months. And
what color?
People were demanding blue, and people were demanding
Y'all are
it.
so
People
fucked
were
up.
going.
You made a blind man dye his hair blue.
Yes.
Y'all are fucking. Michelle, put that blue hair dye up, bitch. I'm dyeing your hair blue.
He looks so cute. I thought it looked really good.
I loved the blue. She shouldn't have. She should have gotten her into. Yeah, I know, Nads. I know. Someone started a GoFundMe using my son who passed. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I mean,
in fact,
Jesus
we just
Christ.
paid
First of
the
all,
last of the dental bill in cash this month.
Yes, and we raised all the money to pay for it 2 years ago. Anyway, okay, Spaghetti, first of all, as a woman and a mother, I don't know how you're able to wake up in the morning. I give you so much credit for that. Your faith is unwavering, and I don't know what to say about the go. That's disgusting. Anyone that can, yeah, that's disgusting. I'm so sorry, sweetie. Wow. You're in your own special club. You should never have to bury your children. And when I meet women or men that have had to do that, it just takes me to a different place because I am in your group. I will just tell you I'm in your group. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but it wasn't your son. Okay. Well, whoever's son it was, it's a horrible thing because when you have a child buried, it's a fucked up thing. Oh, they did. Okay.
It's also emotionally fucked up too.
Oh, that's just I really no. And listen, I think some of my passion. I know you new guys don't understand this. I'm a very passionate person. Shocker, I get it. But what I'm seeing is more and more of these videos of Michele. I have a private group, which is me, Gemini, and Tiger. We've had it for since I've been around. So 4 years, we've had this group. We are the best of friends, and we do nothing but constantly worry about this woman. Okay, that's our whole talk. And when I see these videos starting to pop up, saying ugly things about her, showing her in ugly lights, it scares me. And
all right,
yes,
let me say one thing about the videos. I don't know who they are.
No, probably not.
I only know one from DM Ranch
what would
and his buddies.
A nice, calm DM, calm conversation.
Are you not paying attention, M60? But she and I talked about this 2 days ago privately, and we said, I told her, don't say a fucking word about the 170 because Chris will open up his fucking wallet and make it good. Don't worry about it. Don't bring it up online because people are going to say it's a scam. And then we talked about this privately and nicely 2 days ago, M60, and then it got brought up here. Yes.
Would you do it for me?
All right, let M60 talk now. It's his turn.
If not for anybody else here, I grew up in a household that sounded like this, and I can't fucking handle it. I'm telling you that from my own personal perspective. If you could respect that for me.
Yes, I will.
Speaking of receipts, I have said I would always show receipts to the patrons that have donated. I always said I will.
Michele, you never have to show receipts. I've told you that for years. Don't ever.
Yes, I do, when people because people are always asking where did the goddamn money go. That's why I said I will show you receipts where the money goes.
Okay, can I explain something to
you? Remember something else M60 said, and you have said the same thing. Where the money is donated, it's up to you.
It's nobody's business. Exactly.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to say, Michele.
But you're making it into somebody's business.
Oh my God. Michele, the difference is when you set a specific goal. Okay? Right. If the money, when people donate, listen to me. I've told you for years, when someone hits that donate button and they give you money and there's not a fucking goal or anything, fuck you. It doesn't matter where that fucking money goes. They gave you that money. Fuck them. They don't owe you. Owe no one shit. I've always said that.
I think the takeaway, Michele, is just simply to not do something so specific.
Well, it doesn't help anyone. This YouTube goal has to be reset every fucking day. I have to come up with something goal every day.
Jesus.
Michele, I feel your pain. I forget to do these things all the time. You need to just remind me, and we will make a little to-do list for you to just check off every stream.
Why did you disable a goal once you had a goal, fool?
Because you said that it was fraud.
Problem in the first place.
About the title of the goal.
I don't have a problem.
That's what I was.
Listen,
Gidgey. That's what I was trying to ask you. Was that the problem?
No. The goals, the daily goals are not. Those are wonderful. I love those. What I don't like is when we set a big goal and then we say, "Well, we're just going to spend half of it. Fuck you all," and not. It's just not a good look.
Yeah, so the goals are the problem. She's just going around in circles about it.
Before 2 years ago, raised thousands. Guess what? We just paid the bill off. So you kind of get what I'm saying, right? When it gets to these donation goals that we've made for things, and it doesn't go to that. It's just it puts a bad taste in some old donators' mouths, and I don't want that to happen. Michele is doing good. She's making more money now than she's made in a long time, and I'm happy for her. I'm very happy. I want her to make more. I just want to do it the right way. I want to get back to where, Michele, remember when just out of the blue we'd be bitching, I'd be talking to you about God only knows what, yelling at you, and then you'd get a 20 from some fucking Noodles would drop a 20 to tell me to shut the fuck up or something. I miss those days. I miss the days that people just want to donate to you.
I miss
Because
the
they
days
feel
when
like
people had more money available to donate, Gitchy. You already know how
Well-
much things have gone up in price. You keep
and it
conveniently
is. It's very
forgetting
scary.
that
I'm just
people
saying there are
have
other
other things
people-
that they need the money for. The discretionary funds have shrank. I'm not the